getting 2 wins, 4 draws, and a loss from 7 games is not the standard for a team that is chasing the title. That is just 10 points from a possible 21 points. And out of that 4 draws, if Arsenal Football Club had managed to win just 2 of those 4 draws, they will be between 7 to 9 points ahead of Manchester City right now. For them to lose that Premier League this season, it will be due to this scrappy draw that they are getting. Because I don't understand, if you call yourself a title chasing team or a team that wants to win the title, you will be getting a draw, losing from a winning position, a 2-goal lead, dropping a 2-goal lead, to draw against a team that is doomed for relegation, that their relegation is all but stamped. That's in Wolverhampton Wanderers, dropping a whole 2 points in the 9 minutes of the game. What on earth was stopping Arsenal from getting all 3 points and hold on to the other 2-1 lead before conceding a 9-minute goal in that game? If you are actually a title chasing team or a title worthy team, all these kind of points, you don't need to drop them. You don't need to drop them, because this might actually be their undoing. This has been the same old story. When they get to the second half of the season, every time they drop points, and it's all these scrappy draws. Even forget about the draw. In that game yesterday, Arsenal was the second best, especially in the second half. Though they were able to get an early lead courtesy of Bukayo Saka. He scored 5 minutes into the game to end his over 2 months goal drought. But throughout the first half, they were so leggy. They were playing as if though they've played a lot of games this season, but they have that squad depth. They were so leggy. They were so second to the ball, like they were struggling against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It got worse after they doubled their lead in the second half just in 56 minutes. Then from there, it all begins to crumble. Arsenal were able to double their lead very early in the second half, courtesy of a very fine combination between Gabriel and Nkape. And Nkape took that second goal fantastically well. It's worthy of a striker's goal, yes. Because despite the fact that he was shoved in the 18, he was able to keep the ball and shot it very well into the back of the net. But 5 minutes later, after doubling their league, Bueno was able to reduce the deficit for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Put a very fantastic ball past David Raya. And from there, it was all up for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They smelled the blood and they went for the jugular. They took Arsenal by the cuff. And Arsenal was so scrappy, they were not improving in their games. Martinelli was wasting chances. Gyökeres was not even seeing chances. Zubimendi was not even covering himself in glory in that game yesterday. And this Arsenal has a lot of depth, but their coach decided not to use them on time. Wolverhampton Wanderers saw this panic and they took advantage of it. Their coach made some changes, and one of the substituted players that got his debut game against Arsenal yesterday was the one that equalized the game, a person of Tom Edozie of Nigeria descent. That was a very fantastic way to introduce yourself into the Premier League. Getting your debut goal in your debut game against Arsenal Football Club. What a way to introduce yourself into the Premier League. What was so surprising yesterday in that game was that while Arsenal was leading 2-1, that everyone was expecting them to go for the kill, Arsenal started playing delay tactics right from 70-something minutes. 70-something to 80 minutes, Arsenal started playing delay tactics. They started falling, doing a lot of gimmicks. Like, guy, whatever gimmicks that you are trying to do now will be added to your extra time. So what's the point? What's the point? And Wolverhampton were able to get their goal in the 94th minute of that game. Who knows, if they have not done all those gimmicks, maybe it will have been just like 3 minutes extra time, or let's say 4 minutes extra time, and they will be able to hold on. But they were given 7 minutes extra time, and these guys were able to score in the 94th minute. If you are talking about mentality, this Arsenal team are crumbling on it right now. Their mentality looks so brittle, and you can't be this mentally frail when Manchester City is breathing behind you, breathing on your neck, chasing you so hard. Now it is 5 points between Arsenal and Manchester City. Fine. But Manchester City is having a game in hand that they can win. Because in this part of the season, the second half of the season, if Manchester City were given this kind of chance, they would take advantage of it. They have the coach to do it. They have the players to do it. They have the mentality to do it. They are still the only team that I can say in the remaining 11 to 12 games left in this season, they can go all the way to win it all. They can go all the way to win it all. Yes. They are mentality merchants. They are mentality beasts. And if they smell blood like this, it is not their first time of playing it. If they smell blood, they will go all the way out. And they will give Arsenal a very hot chase. They will give Arsenal a very hot chase. If they win their game against Newcastle this weekend, it will just be 2 points left between them and Arsenal. And mind you, they still have a game to play with Arsenal. In which, if they are having that 2 point gap between themselves before that game, I can bet it with anything. They will make sure they beat Arsenal. They will make sure they beat Arsenal. What Arteta has failed to do in his 6 years of coaching this Arsenal team was building their mentality. They don't have that mentality strength. That's the problem they are having right now. They crumble at every little pressure. Right now, they can't handle the pressure. That's why you see all these drop points in the recent weeks. They can't handle it. Though they've played a lot of games, but if you are a title chasing team, you are bound to play every goddamn games. You call for it. Not like Manchester United that is playing once in 2 weeks. You call for it. You want to win something. And if you are chasing at least a double. So there will be no complaint about you having so much games. What you are supposed to have is the mentality to get to the end. But they have failed in this. They have failed in it. Arteta has not been able to build that mentality in this Arsenal team. And it will cost them at the end of the season. And mind you, if they can't go all the way in this Premier League, they will not win that Champions League. They won't forget that they topped the Champions League all the way from the beginning till now. They didn't drop a point. They will not win the Champions League. They will not. Because most of all the experienced team, they get better into the later stage of that Champions League. They will not. And if they are not winning any major trophy this season, I don't know. If they decide to win, maybe, okay, let's say we want to win the Carling Cup alone, or want to win the FA Cup alone. Those are not major trophy to me. I can still say, okay, maybe for FA Cup. So if they are not winning any major trophy like the Premier League or the Champions League this season, that means they've labored in vain all through the season. Will it be the same old story this season again? Building. When are you going to live in that building that you are building all this while? Building. When are you going to have a trophy to show for all this building that you have been building for the past 6 to 7 years? That is the question I need all the Arsenal fans to ask themselves, ask their team this time around. Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you are yet to follow, click on the follow button, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more football updates, and I will see you guys on the next one.